Zanzibar. The name itself just sounds like paradise, right? An island jewel off Tanzania, whispering of spice markets, ancient stone alleys, and beaches so white they almost hurt your eyes. For tourists, it's a perfect escape. We're talking luxury resorts, infinity pools, and $1,000 holidays. This is the postcard version of Zanzibar, an image that has created a multi-million-dollar tourism boom, which is supposed to be an engine for progress and wealth for everyone. But if you look just past the edge of the postcard, beyond the manicured lawns of the five-star hotels, there's another Zanzibar. It's a place where the river of tourist money seems to dry up before it ever reaches the people who have called this island home for generations. What if this boom isn't lifting everyone up? What if, for a lot of locals, it's actually making life harder, more expensive, and deeply insecure? How is it possible that in a place with so much money pouring in, many of the people who actually belong there are getting poorer? This is the Paradise Paradox. Section 1. The Golden Deluge. If you just look at the numbers, Zanzibar's economy seems to be absolutely crushing it. Tourism is king, making up nearly 30% of the island's entire GDP and a massive 80% of its foreign income. The growth is relentless. In 2024, the economy grew by 6.2%, carried on the back of a tourism sector that saw over 1 million visitors arrive. Think about that, 1 million visitors, each spending hundreds of dollars. This isn't just a trickle of cash, it's a golden flood that should, in theory, be transforming the lives of every single person on the island. It's the kind of economic boom that governments dream of, promising new roads, modern buildings, and a better quality of life for all its citizens. From a distance, the formula looks like it's working. You can see the new hotels rising against the skyline, and the government can point to these as proof of progress. The brand of Zanzibar as a top-tier travel destination is stronger than ever, but a brand isn't reality. While the national accounts get fat on tourist dollars, a quiet crisis is brewing in the villages just out of frame. The promise of shared prosperity is being broken, and the very people who give Zanzibar its soul are being left behind. Section 2. The Rising Tide That Drowns. You'd think all this new money would make life better for everyone, right? But for many Zanzibaris, it feels more like they're drowning. The most immediate and painful hit from the tourism boom is the skyrocketing cost of living. The very things that make the island an exotic getaway for foreigners are making it an impossibly expensive home for its own people. Imagine you're a fisherman whose family has pulled its living from the sea for generations. Now, the fish you catch are worth more at a luxury hotel restaurant than you could ever get for them at the local market. The price of your own livelihood is being dictated by a tourist dinner plate. Or think about a family in a small coastal village. As developers hunt for the next prime spot for a resort, land prices are exploding. Suddenly, the ground under your feet is a commodity you can no longer afford. People are being priced out of their ancestral homes, their communities carved up to make way for exclusive tourist bubbles. And it's not just about big-ticket items. The cost of basic necessities, food, cooking oil, transport, rent, is climbing. One analysis shows the brutal math. A local's budget is a tiny fraction of a tourist's, yet they have to shop in the same inflated market. It creates a painful separation. As one person noted, the cost of living for locals can be brutally high compared to local wages. They become spectators at a feast they can't afford to join, serving the very industry that pushes a dignified life further and further out of reach. The World Bank has pointed out this exact disconnect. Despite major economic growth, poverty has been slow to decrease, which suggests the benefits of the tourism boom just aren't being shared widely. Section 3. The Employment Mirage. Okay, but what about the jobs? That's the first thing defenders of this system will bring up. And it's true, the tourism sector does create jobs, but the jobs argument is a bit of a mirage. It looks great from a distance, but when you get closer, it falls apart. The real question isn't if there are jobs, but what kind of jobs and for who? The hard truth is that most of the positions open to local Zanzibaris are at the very bottom of the ladder. Cleaners, gardeners, security guards, beach sellers. These jobs are often seasonal, insecure and pay low wages with almost no path to promotion. The better paying, skilled, and management jobs, those are overwhelmingly filled by foreigners or mainland Tanzanians. This isn't a new problem, it's a structural issue that has been baked in for decades. On top of that, there's the problem of revenue leakage. The tourism industry here is dominated by foreign-owned, all-inclusive resorts. These places are designed like self-contained bubbles to keep tourist dollars from ever leaving their walls. Guests eat, drink, and book tours all through the hotel. The money goes from a foreign bank account to a corporate bank account and barely grazes the local economy. Local farmers, restaurant owners, and small-time entrepreneurs are effectively locked out. A World Bank report noted that over 80% of the supplies for the tourism sector are sourced from outside Zanzibar. This is how you get a situation where, despite impressive growth, about a quarter of Zanzibar's 1.9 million people still live below the basic poverty line. The wealth isn't trickling down, it's being siphoned away. The government knows this is a problem and has tried to reserve some areas, like tour guiding, for locals, but the bigger structure of foreign control in the most profitable parts of the industry is a huge barrier to real local wealth. Section 4. The Two Zanzibars. This paradox has basically split the island in two. There are two Zanzibars now, existing side by side but worlds apart. You have the tourists' Zanzibar, pristine, catered, and protected. And then you have the locals' Zanzibar, a reality of strained resources, a damaged environment, and overloaded infrastructure. And the first one is built on the back of the second. Waste is one of the starkest examples. The tourism industry is a massive contributor to the island's waste, with some reports claiming it produces up to 80% of the trash. But the systems to manage this flood of garbage are completely overwhelmed. While resorts might get their trash collected, a lot of it ends up in open dumps, polluting the same beautiful environment the whole economy depends on. Tourists are shielded from this, but locals live with the consequences. The dirty water, the plastic-choked fields, the fallout from an industry that consumes and discards without taking much responsibility. The beauty of Zanzibar is real, but the paradise that tourists pay thousands to visit hangs in a delicate, tense balance with the lives of the people who call it home. The flood of money hasn't lifted all boats. For too many, it's been a storm, threatening to sink them. The island is at a crossroads, facing a question that beautiful places all over the world are asking. How do you build an economy that serves your own people, not just the people who visit? There are no simple fixes. The answer isn't to end tourism, but to completely rethink it. Things like community-based tourism, ensuring local ownership, and enforcing real environmental rules are crucial first steps that are already being discussed and, in some cases, put into practice. But it takes a huge shift in thinking from governments, corporations, and even from us as travelers. As the resorts keep getting built and the planes keep landing, the question hangs in the air: whose paradise is it really? And what is the true price of our escape? The situation is complicated, and this is just one piece of the story. What do you think? Have you seen this happen in your own travels? Let me know in the comments below. And if you think these kinds of stories need to be told, please share this video to help get the word out.